Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. Despite Mother Nature's best attempts to disrupt what we're doing tonight, I hope we're going to have a magical evening of dancing under the stars. So thank you very much. Thank you, His Excellency the Governor, Andrew Murdoch, here this evening, the U.S. Consul General, Antoinette Hurtado. Thank you very much for joining us. Some more thank you. Thank you to Melody. I don't know where she's disappeared to. She doesn't like the spotlight. But our own Melody Lindbergh, whose brainchild this event really is tonight. So thank you. And thank you to our partners of the tasting room, all our F&B teams, operations teams, the AV teams, and of course our performers tonight. Thank you for coming together to make what is going to be a very special event. For those of you that don't know me yet, I'm the brand new Managing Director of Rosewood Bermuda, Patrick Graham. It's a pleasure meeting you all this evening. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm hoping this will be the first in a long line of events in this vein that really help us both be enriched and enriched by our community that we live in, the beautiful island here in Bermuda. Events in the vein of culture, celebrating the arts, music, taste, and of course, dance. So thank you very much. I hope to do much more of this. My pleasure as well to introduce you to your compere this evening, someone you know a lot better than me at this point, the inimitable Michael Veal. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you for your Scottish weather tonight. We have accepted your promise to wear a kilt this time next year when we're back here, and dance. So I'm here obviously just as MC this evening to keep the event going, but my first part of the evening is with great delight to invite Sophia Cannonier-Watson, who is the producer and proud parent of quite a few of the performers tonight. Please join me in welcoming Sophia to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Lovely to see you.
You too. So I'm lucky enough to be under Sophia's tutelage. You'll be glad to hear it's not ballet, it's Pilates, and so you won't see me tonight.
We do sneak some gallery in there, don't we?
Yes, is it. But it's been a great delight. You've been putting this together for a few months now, and I know you've put an awful lot of time into it. And if I could just ask you, first of all, congratulating you on bringing this all together. It's a whole wonderful production, but there's also been a huge week involved this week. You've been very much involved in the community as part of Ravi and your broader family's ambition to show some gratitude to the support that Ravi got in his youth to where he is today as a member of the Royal Ballet Company in London. So could you just bring us through the week and what you've done so far?
Just the last week, Michael? Just the last week? Okay, thank you. We're switching mics because this is the one that I have to talk the most on. Thank you so much, Melody and Patrick, for making this happen. This week has been a memorable week. We started off with interviews on the radio very early. We took the children, I call them children because they're my children, we took the dancers up to Southampton for an interview on Tuesday, and then they were on the Bermuda Broadcasting on Wednesday, and on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday they had an interview every morning, and then Ravi was on a podcast this morning called The Daily Hour. So we have started the day with having the dancers speak, not just dance. And that's important. Now they're ready to express themselves for you. And I think they're very thankful that they have had the opportunity to speak. Prior to this week, Michael, Melody, and many people who are in the background really made this happen for us. Would you like to know step by step how it happened?
Well, I think I might have tipped you off on some of these questions, but you're very proud of all your children. You're very proud of Ravi and his amazing accomplishments. This must be a very proud week for you and Michael and your whole family. And now, without crying, please tell us how proud you are tonight.
We're extremely proud, but super grateful. It is a dream, but it takes a lot of hard work. And it also takes a lot of patience and I think foresight to see. I knew that Ravi would make it to the Royal Ballet. And we just needed trust, we needed support from our families, from our island family, from the scholarships. All of the children have received scholarships through the National Dance Foundation, the Bermuda Arts Council, the Peter Lettner Award, private funding. So we're very thankful and I'm very grateful. I am very proud of them. This is the first time that all three of them will be on stage at the same time. All three. So very grateful. Thank you for making this happen.
Yes, it really is an amazing story from the island of Bermuda. I know you're very proud of Ravi, and Bermuda is very proud of Ravi too, as he is of your two children. Other children, that is. Excuse me. So at least some of the audience here know the story of how Ravi got to where he is today. At 11 years of age, having obviously before that at 8 years of age, joined the Russian Ballet here in Bermuda, but went to compete against 2,500 other children for 12 coveted spots in the Royal Ballet School. What happened after that? How did he end up where he is today?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you, Michael. The 12 spots where that caused a lot of anxiety, by the way. How did he end up in the school? Let me just take Michael back a moment. Ravi auditioned for Billy Elliot first. And because, as you know, the story of Billy Elliot, it's a young man who doesn't quite know what dance is yet, even though he comes from a family of I'm a dancer, I'm a former dancer. But we auditioned Ravi for Billy Elliot, and the directors always measure the body. And they measured him at age 10 and said, he's lovely, but he's going to be too tall. And you'll see how tall he is. And they were right. So they suggested, just like the Billy Elliot film, try the Royal Ballet, because that young man in Billy Elliot auditioned eventually for the Royal Ballet and danced. And I'll tell you another little story about that. So Ravi auditioned for the Royal Ballet School, and what had to happen there? We have to send photographs, we have to do audition videos, we have to find our way over and do the actual physical audition. And yes, there were 2,500 students and 12 boys were accepted. His dad took him to the audition. His dad is here tonight, Michael. From there, each year, so that's quite a feat to get into the Royal Ballet School at age 11, but each year there is an assessment. So if you don't meet the grade, or if they think that you're going to be too tall or not develop in the direction of a Royal Ballet dancer, and they do have a look, and they do also have an aesthetic, then you're out. So Ravi made it through all the way from age 11 up to 19, 20 and into the company. So he's one of very few already, not just one Bermudian, but one of very few young men who have made it from age 11 to 20 all the way through. And each position, each year is very stressful. So that's how we have lived the last 20 years, Michael.
Thank you for the 2-minute version of 20 years. Yeah, so, but one thing I was amused with from Ravi was that he mentioned that it's a mix of genes, physicality, and hard work. What balance would you say it is, and what chance do us mere mortals have from where we stand today?
You can do it too, Michael. We spend hours every day. I take him through his pliés and his tendus, and he does, and he's looking great. Wouldn't you say that Michael is looking fantastic? Have you seen him change? Let's give a little spin, Michael. I'd like to put him on the spot. So physically, everyone can dance. And you'll hear, we're going to do a question and answer at the end, right? And the artists they speak. And they will tell you, so they are phenomenal, but they will tell you in their own words what they do. So that would be a great question. Physically, yes, everybody can dance. What they have to do, they have to forfeit going to sleepovers, probably forfeit roller skating, playing football, climbing trees sometimes. And that, as a mom, that's what I actually had to do. I tried to give them my children did karate for the discipline. They did play football, but we had to be careful. They climbed trees with a mat. Just kidding. But we did have to be very mindful of the trajectory that they were potentially going in. And then they still pay attention to that today. They have to sacrifice. They do eat everything, but they also become very aware of their bodies. So especially going through the shift from 11 to 16, where bodies change. But other than that, discipline, class, focus, meaning ballet class every day, sometimes twice a day. Again, a great question for them when they come out. And psychologically, they actually have to talk through their fear. They have to talk through their they have to talk with like a psychologist. The students today in the Royal Ballet and the English National Ballet, they have very good care. It's not like the dancers when I was dancing professionally, where you had to wing it and you had to find your own support system. They actually have physical training centers, they have Pilates, they have gyrotonic, they have physical therapists, they have psychotherapists who help them with their mind, body. So they're very well taken care of. But I want to stress that everyone can dance and they just need that opportunity.
There you go, folks. Flat is for you. But it's time to dance, everybody. So we look forward now to seeing the show that you all came to see. You'll be glad to hear it's on live stream across the globe. So please smile and clap. Make sure you're all on camera. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming, and enjoy the night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Even have to look at the notes.
He did? Okay. All right, so I'm on the mic the entire night. The first piece that you are going to see features Maya Rose Roberts and Ravi Cannonier Watson. Both are 20 years old. Maya Rose Roberts studied in Portugal. She moved from her home in Barcelona to Portugal at age 13, decided that that's where she was wanting to go and study. So she left her home and her parents at 13 and chose a school in Portugal. So this is Ravi and Maya dancing Paquita. talk first.
And that, folks, is just the start of the evening.
It's just the start.
That puts it up to the rest of the group to beat that. Sophia is now going to introduce the next dance.
How do you follow that, Michael? I'm just going to talk for a little longer because it's very important for... Did you enjoy that? Okay. The gentleman on the stage is Eugene Dean, and he is also someone who has made this possible. Can we give him a round of applause, please? And Spanish Town Entertainment. The surface that they are dancing on is called marley, and it's very important that that marley is taken care of. In fact, marley needs to be put down 24 hours before the dancers dance. It needs to breathe, it needs to be set, so even the floor has to be special and especially taken care of. So it has to be stretched and pulled, and so Eugene is taping the floor because I noticed, I'm a dancer, and I noticed that the floor is not safe when the tape starts to peel up. As you can imagine, it's just like something on the football field when you have to make sure the field is safe. So a little bit about Paquita. I'm actually needing to just catch my breath after seeing my son up there. Thank you. So that piece they performed at the Royal Opera House. Both of them were in the Royal Ballet School together. They are a couple. Yes. Let the cat out of the bag there. And to see that on the Royal Opera House stage is quite incredible. And Ravi and Maya were chosen as to have their photographs on the front of the Royal Opera House stage in the billboard there. So it's very special to see that piece. As I was saying, Maya is 20 years old, and she decided to leave home at 13, move to Portugal because she researched a school for herself and said, parents, I need to go and find another place. Then she entered the Prix de Lausanne. You're going to see a Prix de Lausanne winner this evening. Maya won a scholarship to the Royal Ballet School. You see how this happens, right? You actually have to have the foresight. You don't really get scouted in the ballet world. You actually have to work very hard to navigate through the channels to get to where you need to be. So she arrived at the Royal Ballet School in London at the third year, the first year program, and I think she worked and met Ravi there. And they've just been dancing together ever since, and we're really, really happy. Ravi, to see him dance tonight, oh my goodness. Would you like to say anything about Ravi? You met Ravi, didn't you? What was your time like meeting Ravi in London?
He's just a pure gentleman. I think hopefully you will all get to have an opportunity to chat with him this evening post-event. That's the idea, that we'd like just to take that time to meet the guy that he is. So there you go.
Thank you, Michael. So I'm going to introduce. Thank you, Michael. I will introduce. Are we almost ready to go, Eugene? Yeah. Yes, thank you. Okay, so the next piece, and I'm going to wing this because I'm not going to put my glasses on because we're going live. The next piece is called Caprice, and I see some lovely little ones in the audience tonight. Do they take ballet class? And do they do something called have you heard of the Royal Academy of Dance, the RAD exams? Anyone, maybe even an adult who's taken yes? Okay, so we have some, thank you yep. So the Royal Academy of Dance was started here in Bermuda, became popular here in Bermuda through the Somerset School of Dancing. And they do exams. You have to do yearly exams to pass to the next grade. And now the In Motion School of Dance has absorbed the Somerset School of Ballet. So the exams are still happening. Caprice is the highest level of exam that you can take, and it's called the Solo Seal. In order to take the Solo Seal, one has to achieve a level of high distinction in their Advanced 2 exam. Vidya Kataner-Watson, my middle daughter, is taking the Solo Seal exam. And you're going to see it tonight now, Caprice, before she even takes the exam. So it's very special because as parents, once we sent them off to school, it's very expensive to fly over for every weekend to see them dance. So it's very special for us to see this performance for her tonight. Enjoy. Wow.
Any spot similarity between Sophia and Vidya? I think it is in the genes. Not much work's going to get us to that level. Congratulations, and to Vidya particularly.
Thank you, Michael. So that was quite perky and fun. So thank you, Vidya. Next we have Sleeping Beauty Prince. Now, Jacob Wee is a Prix de Lausanne winner, and he is Vidya's partner at the Tring School, her partner at the Tring School of Performing Arts. They both just graduated last weekend from the Tring School of Performing Arts. Jacob, are we ready? Yes? Jacob Wee, this is the Sleeping Beauty Prince. I think we're going to need a bigger stage next year. Very long legs. Jacob, thank you so much. Wow. Jacob is a phenomenal dancer. And we are witnessing tonight someone, I think, who is going to go very far, very fast. So you are really privileged tonight to see the growth of this young man. He's going into the English National Ballet as an artist in September, straight out of high school. You're witnessing greatness there, but thank you for having him. Thank you, Jacob. Okay, we're on to the next piece. Are one of our youngest performers. Her name is Penelope Barker. She is Bermudian. Her father is Bermudian, her family is Bermudian, her mom is here also tonight. 11 years old, and she is moving to the UK in 3 days to follow her dream. It's not easy, but she's going to do the Don Quixote Kitri wedding solo. Thank you. Beautiful. She's going to go far. Would you agree? And so expressive. What a lovely, lovely presence she has on stage. Very important. And at 11 years old to be able to shine that way. Beautiful. So she is traveling to the UK in the next 3 days. And I was just saying it's not easy because one of the parents has to stay and work and one of the parents has to go and live with her in the UK. That's the sacrifice that we have to make as dancers. It's not very easy, but she's shining. Thank you, Penelope. You'll see her again. And I want to say that this is the first act. You will have a 15-minute intermission, and all of the classical pieces, all of the pieces are in the classical repertoire are happening in the first act. The second act, please don't go home. It's going to be amazing. So stay around. Now we have something called the beginning. Now this is a concept to help you understand what levels we are growing our dancers. We must start class every day at the bar. It's on stage now. And then we move off the bar. Now the bar we never really hold on to and be reliant on. We're always trained from the time of our little people that we do not rely on the bar. And you're going to see a transition of young to intermediate dance and to advanced. So enjoy the beginning. Did you recognize some of those little faces out there? Where is Neil? Where is Michelle? He's dashed off. I think he's gone to get a tissue. Those were Neil and Michelle's twin daughters, the Mountford twins. Very special indeed. Beautifully done. And that was a concept by Angelia Hubbard and myself to help you understand the hard work that goes in and the pure joy when parents see their children on the stage. It's heartwarming. And grandparents there, thank you. Thank you for identifying yourself. Yes. So thank you. Now we're ready to move on. It's hard to just to talk this way. It's very emotional. Okay, now I have a little story about this piece. This is a gentleman by the name of Emerson Gamble, and his costume just arrived today, about an hour ago. So thank you. There is efficiency in Bermuda. DHL. Thank you. This is Emerson Gamble, and he is performing the Diana and Actaeon male solo. Thank you, Emerson. And I think you're wondering, I'm glad he got his costume. It's a very special costume. Yes, well done. Now, our dancers, just another little situation here. Dancers have to have physiotherapy every day, right? In the dressing room, you're going to see, well, you won't have privilege of going to the dressing room, but people are doing Pilates in the dressing room. They are doing exercise with their TheraBands. They're doing breathing exercises. They're having physio, as I said, every day. Maureen Ryan from the Myotherapy Center, thank you so much. If anyone knows Maureen, I know that there's some rugby players in the room. She takes care of you. We need to take care of our bodies. So we only get one. Thank you, Emerson. Next up on our beautiful list here is Sasha. Sasha Ventukaswamy, another gentleman who studied with Ravi at the Royal Ballet School. He has spent the last year at the Dutch National Academy and has just graduated, and now he is moving into the English National Ballet Company along with Emerson in September. Sasha Ventukaswamy, and the piece that he is performing is called Les Bourgeois. And I'll let you know, you decide what you think it's about. Les Bourgeois. How many people speak French? Wonderful. Maybe you can translate for everyone, but I think he's going to do a good job of describing what he's dancing about. Sasha.
Dans la bière, chez la grosse Adrienne de mon talent. Avec l'ami Jojo et avec l'ami Pierre, on allait boire nos 20 ans. Jojo se prenait pour Voltaire et Pierre pour Casanova. Et moi qui étais le plus fier, moi je me prenais pour moi. Et quand vers minuit passaient les notaires qui sortaient de l'hôtel des 3%, on leur montrait notre cul et nos bonnes manières en leur chantant les bourgeois, c'est comme les cochons, plus ça devient vieux, plus ça devient bête. Les bourgeois, c'est comme les cochons, plus ça devient vieux, plus ça devient. Le corps bien au chaud, les yeux dans la la bière chez la grosse Adrienne de mon talent. Avec l'ami Jojo et avec l'ami Pierre, on allait brûler nos 20 ans. Voltaire dansait comme un vicaire et Casanova n'osait pas. Et moi qui restais le plus fier, moi, j'étais presque aussi sous que moi. Et quand vers minuit passaient les notaires qui sortaient de l'hôtel des 3 ans, on leur montrait nos culs et nos bonnes manières en leur chantant les bourgeois, c'est comme les cochons, plus ça devient vieux, plus ça devient bête. Les bourgeois, c'est comme les cochons, plus ça devient vieux, plus ça devient... Le cœur au repos, les yeux bien sur terre, au bar de l'hôtel des 3 ans, avec maître Jojo et avec maître Pierre, entre notaires, on passe le temps. Jojo parle de Voltaire et Pierre de Casanova. Et moi qui suis resté le plus fier, moi je parle encore de moi. Et c'est en sortant vers minuit, monsieur le commissaire, que tous les soirs, de chez la Montalent, de jeunes peigne-culs nous montrent leur derrière, en nous chantant. Les bourgeois, c'est comme les cochons, plus ça devient vieux, et plus ça devient bête, disent-ils, monsieur le commissaire. Les bourgeois, plus ça devient vieux, et plus ça devient...
Now you try doing that with a cigarette in your mouth. Amazing, amazing. Oh my goodness. Does anyone know, thank you Sasha, that was, just to give him another round of applause. That was not only beautiful dancing, but acting. And Sasha is from Mauritius, and he's American, but his family is from Mauritius, and they they immigrated from the America to England. So please have a conversation with him after. Do meet him. Excellent, excellent. I was going to say Sergei Polunin. Does that ring a bell? The bad boy of ballet. The Take Me to Church. Anyone seen that? Yes. The ballet dance with all the tattoos. Sergei Polunin did that piece, and Sasha, I think, did it better than Sergei Polunin. Bad boy of ballet, Sasha. Wonderful. Okay, now we're the piece just before intermission, so we're almost there. This is the Bluebird Pas de Deux variation, and then variations. And Vidya Cannonier-Watson and Jacob Weiwei Hughes will be performing that. So it's from the ballet Sleeping Beauty, but Bluebird Pas de Deux.
Caitlin Power, Princess Floating Variation from Sleeping Beauty.
Thank you, Vidi and Jacob. This is amazing. We are going to take a 15-minute intermission now. Please enjoy, and we'll see you back here for a brilliant second half. around the world. And thank you again to Rosewood, Tucker's Point, Bermuda for making this possible. May we please give a round of applause to your beautiful hotel and club. And may there be many more of these, as Mr. Patrick said. Now we open the second half of this beautiful program with a piece called Creature. Robbie Cannonier-Watson learned this piece about 2 weeks ago, and it is I wouldn't say it's a ballet. No, I said this is the second half of this program is more of contemporary work. This piece was choreographed by Akram Khan, and maybe look him up. He commissioned this for the English National Ballet. And Robbie took it upon himself to learn this because Akram Khan is going to be working with the Royal Ballet very soon. And this is how dancers have to work as well. Be prepared, be on time, and be open to any possibility. So please enjoy Creature.
Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. Go ahead, Mr. President. Good to see you tonight. Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. For every American, this has to be the proudest day of our lives. And for people all over the world, I am sure that they too join with Americans in recognizing what an immense feat this is. Go ahead, Mr. President. Hello, Neil and Buzz. I just can't tell you how proud we all are of what you have done. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. And as you talk to us from the sea of tranquility, it inspires us to redouble our efforts to bring peace and tranquility to earth. Peace to earth. Peace to earth. Peace to earth. Peace to earth. Because of what you have done, for one priceless moment in the whole history of man, all the people on this earth are truly warm. Go ahead, Mr. President. Hello, Neil and Buzz. Because of what you have done, the heavens have become a part of man's world. Man's world. The heavens have become man's world. Because of what you have done. 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 Because of what you have done.
I gave birth to that creature. Wow. How do I get this job? Incredible, phenomenal to learn that, and wow, I cannot say more. Thank you, Robbie. And thank you, Akram Khan, for creating such a beautiful piece. Okay, next we have There's a Stillness. Now, There's a Stillness is, the music was created by a Bermudian, Tarika Dillis, who is my assistant to this production. She's sitting back there and she's never seen this piece. She asked Vidya and Jacob if they liked the music. Yes, we love this music. Would you please choreograph to this? And so this is a self-choreographed. Jacob and Vidya have choreographed this themselves. And this is Tarika Dillis's music that she penned, There's a Stillness. Enjoy. One speak after that. You don't want to be in my position. Self-choreographed, moving, neoclassical that's called. So the first half was classical. And that is something that they love to do. They love to choreograph with each other, on each other, and it does beautiful. You can really see who they are, their personalities. Thank you, Vidya and Jacob and Tarika, for penning such a beautiful piece, and it means a lot to her to see her choreograph. All right, moving through, we have now In the Back of a Taxi. This is Penelope Barker again, and her neoclassical piece. Back of the Taxi, I'm just going to let her dance first and we'll talk about it after. Enjoy Back in the Back of a Taxi. Thank you, Penelope. Dancers have to have classical and contemporary. And when you go to these competitions, Prix de Lausanne, for instance, or the Margot Fontaine competition, which was formerly known as the Genet, the dancers use those competitions to move themselves to the next level, to be seen by choreographers, to be seen by school directors and principals. And they are judged on their ability to do both the classics, as you saw in the first half, and the contemporary. So thank you, Penelope, and she's definitely one to watch moving through this profession we call ballet. So next we have our highest ranked dancer who is with us tonight, and her name is Miss Precious Adams. She is a first soloist of the English National Ballet. She is a Prix de Lausanne winner. She is phenomenal. Her aunt is here tonight, Miss Leonie Curtis, who's in the back. And thank you, Leonie. And she's going to grace our stage with Faintly Seen, this was choreographed by her dancing sister, Portia Adams, who is going to be with us as well, but she is so busy in the Ballet de Monte Carlo that she could not make it this evening. So please enjoy Precious Adams' Faintly Seen. Precious is a phenomenal dancer, as you can see. Did you notice that what you noticed is her whole physicality. She dances with every part of her body, her eyes, her hands, her fingertips, down to the tips of her toes, which are the same color as her entire body. She is an advocate for line. And what that means is that she is a woman of color, and she is dancing in her colored pointe shoes. And those pointe shoes used to have to be pancaked, or facial makeup. We used to have to paint the pink pointe shoes, which is what they used to come in standard, the color of our skin tone. I danced at the Dance Theater of Harlem, and that's where it started, where we took the pink pointe shoes and made them our skin tone. So you'll see that Maya and Vidya and the dancers all have their own skin tone. But Precious is a world advocate for that, and she has worked closely with the pointe shoe companies to develop the skin tone for dancers. So thank you, Precious, not only for your beautiful dancing, but your advocacy. You should also tune into the English National Ballet, and you will see Precious dance many principal, soloist and principal roles coming this season. So the English National Ballet, please keep your eye on Precious Adams. Okay, moving along. Okay, we have Motherless Child. This is Jacob Leeway Hughes' choreography, and he is the soloist in this piece. Please enjoy. We'll talk after.
Sometimes I feel like a murderous child. Sometimes I feel like a murderous child. Sometimes I feel like a murderous child. Long way from home. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. From just wanna cry.
You're witnessing greatness tonight. 18 years old, just graduated from high school, moving into the English National Ballet, declined the Royal Ballet because he knew that he could go to the English National Ballet and dance, and that's what you're going to see in the future. Athleticism, passion. Jacob Lee Hughes, remember that name. Thank you, Jacob. So moving. Okay, next we have Ashes. It's going to be a little bit calmer. This is Maya Rose Roberts, and this piece was choreographed for Natalia Osipova. And she is a principal dancer with the Royal Ballet. She's also guested in many companies around the world. Maya Rose Roberts. Maya, 20 years old, and an artist with the Zurich National Ballet, trained at the Royal Ballet School, and a beautiful, beautiful dancer. Thank you, Maya. Another round of applause for Maya. Okay. The next piece is called Duet, and this is the first time that Vidya Cannonier-Watson and Precious Adams will be dancing together. They've known each other. Vidya was mentored by Precious, and this is quite special because you have, as I said, the first artist of the English National Ballet dancing with Vidya will be going into the English National Ballet School's upper third year. She's 17, Vidya. So we have a first artist and a 17-year-old school student still in a piece together, which is incredible. So this piece was choreographed by a Royal Ballet principal, and please enjoy. See them being creative with their shoes off the stage. Beautiful. And so athletic. You may even see Precious running along North Shore Road. She goes for a run every morning. Incredibly athletic, and Vidya. Thank you so much. Okay, we're on to one of our last pieces called Suits. Now, Suits was choreographed, remember Les Bourgeois with Sasha Ventukaswamy? Ray Bourgeois, Sasha, is the choreographer for Suits. And please enjoy Pink Floyd.
God damn it, an entire generation pumping gas, waiting tables, slaves with white collars, advertising masses chasing cars and clothes, working jobs we hate, so we can buy we don't need. The little children of history, man. No purpose or place. We had no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war. Our Great Depression is our lives.
What a day, dear. You look lonely. I can fix that.
Only guys can dance with their shirts off like that. Okay, calm down, Sophia. Now, my son is up there. Jeez. Now we have our finale. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. Have you enjoyed this evening? Thank you again to Rosewood, Tucker's Point, Bermuda. Thank you to Melody Lindbergh. to Michael Veal, Cara Veal, who couldn't be here tonight, all of the people who put this together, the whole entourage crew at the back, please just raise your hands to them. Parents, our ballet mistress, who I'm going to ask to come to the front, who used to dance with the New York City Ballet. We're going to do a little finale for you, and then the dancers are going to stay on stage, and Mr. Veal, Michael, has scoured the crowd for a few of your questions, and they're going to answer some of your questions live and direct right here for you. So please enjoy the finale. See you on the other side.
Please don't stop the music. 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 It's getting late. I'm making my way over to my favorite place. I gotta get my body moving, shake the stress away. I wasn't looking for nobody when you looked my way. Possible candidate, yeah. You knew that you'd be up here looking like the do. The liquor staying over here impossible. Baby, I'ma say your aura is incredible. If you don't have to go, go. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party, but now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. With hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, just to trust, and now we're face to face. I wanna take you away, just to take into the music. They play, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do it. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, just to take into the music. They play, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do it. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Baby, are you ready? 'Cause it's getting cold. Don't you feel the passion ready to explode? What goes on between us, no one has to know. 'Cause there's a private show. Do you know what you started? I just came here to party, but now we're rocking on the dance floor, acting naughty. With hands around my waist, just let the music play. We're hand in hand, just to trust, and now we're face to face. I wanna take you away, just to take into the music. They play, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do it. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, just to take into the music. They play, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do it. Keep on rocking to it. Please don't stop the music. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, just to take into the music. They play, let it play. I just can't refuse it, like the way you do it. Please don't stop the music. I wanna take you away, just to take into the music. They play, let it play.
What do I say now? The first thing I'd like to say is I feel all very lucky. We either live in Bermuda, we're visiting Bermuda, we live in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and tonight we have seen nothing but beauty and emotion, so congratulations. It's a group of amazing international talent. The future is bright, youth is fantastic. Keep it going, guys, and keep living your dreams. We're certainly living our best life in Bermuda, and we're going to keep doing that, so thank you. It's hard to, the whole thing here, we're all here tonight really because of Sophia Cannonaire-Watson. She has, your children, your belief in all of this is why I've brought this group together. So congratulations to you, and we all learned so much about ballet tonight, so thank you. I did do a survey of the room about questions, and the overriding question was, how do we get more of this? In fact, it was basically the only question. Since they came to the island, everything is essentially sold out. Am I correct in saying that? Including tonight, long ago. Quicker than the Santa brunch, Melody said. So how are we doing?
How are we going to do this again? Tomorrow. We have one more show tomorrow at the Earl Cameron Theatre, which is sold out about 3 weeks ago, and just spot tickets. Rosewood sold out in 45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah. So thank you, everybody. So the dancers have all agreed to just join the group tonight rather than having a full Q&A through the night. So please feel free to ask questions and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you again to everybody for being here. You all contributed to the team being here. So thank you.
Thank you, Rosewood, Checkers Point and Beach Club. Thank you, Melody Lindbergh. I am going to bring her over here. I'll tell you one little thing about Melody. Melody and I met for 10 minutes on Easter Good Friday, and we had a conversation in the Solverde Lounge, and I said, I'd like to bring, we only had 10 minutes, I'd like to bring Ravi and his friends to Bermuda, what do you think? And she said, let's do it. So thank you. And Melanie and I go far back. I sent her a message today to say, just breathe. And she got that. I was her doula for her 2 children. So I'm also a midwife assistant and a doula.
But Michael was also doulaing as well.
And Michael was doulaing as well. This is my husband, Robbie's dad. Thank you, Rob. Not just Robbie, but we have Vidya and Ilona Cannonaire-Watson on the stage as well.
Thank you so much, everyone, for a wonderful evening. Thank you for supporting us all. This is, what you're seeing is the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, there's been a lot of work that's gone into this and many years of sacrifice. I joke with my children, I'd have a Ferrari by now. I don't try to guilt them too much, but there is a huge sacrifice in this, but hopefully you can see the benefit of those years of sacrifice. And one of my things I'm very passionate about is keeping the traditions alive. And in a modern world where everything's electronic, you can't create this through a computer yet. And I hope we never can. So please honor that as well and understand what you're seeing here is raw human emotion and movement, and you can't replace that. And if I may say that I am 50% of those 3 children up there as well. Unfortunately, all inherited my hairy legs. Yeah. So thank you, everyone. And for those of you coming tomorrow night, look forward to seeing you there again. Please stay and have a chat with the dancers. And thank you, everyone. Love you guys. Love you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Good night.
I'm sorry, just to one last thank you, didn't get enough thank you for the lovely champagne this Saturday evening, the tasting room. Thank you to the Mountford family and their beautiful twins. Please stand forward again there. Thank you. And with that, we will let you enjoy the rest of the evening, and please engage with the dancers and enjoy listening to their stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Dancers, you can leave the stage and come back and dry off and come and join us out here. Well done. These are your towels.
Please don't stop the move.